New Year, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're so excited to be kicking off the new year with the first seminar in a series, which they'll happen every month, the second Tuesday of every month, and you can see the schedule on our website. So we look forward to seeing you at future webinars. Um, we're really excited. We've been working hard to add a lot of new features to address engagement and make it feel more like a classroom even during remote learning. And so Julius is excited. So we have Julius here, my co-founder, will be presenting. And so we're really excited to be sharing this with you all. And we'll be recording this so we can share this with you later. So, and after the first half, we're also going to have an opportunity to provide support for new teachers. So and those of you, as I mentioned, that might be doing this for some sort of credit, feel free to put your name and school into the chat, and we'll be happy to provide proof of your participation to your school later. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Julius and welcome everyone.
Wow. Okay. Happy New Year. Really good to see everyone today. So today we're going to be talking about two key features we've been working on over Christmas. One is tables and one is notifications. So the talk will be divided into two parts. The idea of tables is that it's a very flexible way to do video conferencing, built right in the skies, instantly available to teachers and students. It's meant to replicate like what regular modern classrooms look like every day with a variety of flexible seating and instructional arrangements. And then part two is going to be notifications, which, when you go into any classroom, you recognize it's not just people sitting at tables, it's also mounds and mounds of student work that have to get processed and feedback given and things like that. And how do you keep track of all the work, especially in a virtual environment? It can be challenging. So we built in notifications, the #1 requested feature since March 2020. So I'm very excited to introduce those two things to you guys today. The idea with tables is that it's just there. You don't have to start up a separate app. You don't have to open a program, open the window. There's just one button you press, and immediately video conferencing becomes available to anyone who is logged onto your Skies course. It can also support all sorts of instructional modes. Things like Zoom and Google Meet are very good for whole group instruction, but we all know that's just the beginning of instruction, right? You always want to go down to pairs or small group or very flexible arrangements. And we have technology that really makes this not only easy, but fun to do. And so we're going to give a preview of how all that looks like in a live demo. So the most important thing about tables is this mysterious little bar that's up here to the right of everyone's Skies panel. And we call it the waffle bar because on top, it's something that looks like a waffle, the kind that you make, by, well, you guys all know what a waffle is. I don't have to go into too much detail. If you put your mouse over the waffle bar, it'll tell you what it does. Let's see, so click. You see here it says show video chat, camera turn on, microphone turn on, screen share start, hand raise, text chat show, audio notifications off and on. And this little button here tells you how many people are in the room right now. So all you have to do to get video conferencing started in Skies, it's just like starting a car. Just press the button. Well, you have a Prius or some other very modern car. Just 1, 2, 3. Click the first button. Click the second button. Click the third button. Blue, blue, blue. 1, 2, 3. So that opens up the video chat, opens up the camera, opens up the microphone. And if you want to share your screen as well, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also share your screen at the same time. Those are the 3 most important buttons with video chat. And you'll notice that you can see me talking to myself now in Skies tables. There's 2 other buttons I want to familiarize you with. There's a button on the upper right-hand corner. You see, it looks like this blue switch, and you can be toggling it off and on. What this blue switch does, it's like the lights in your classroom. When you turn it off, you don't want students to be in there. When you turn it on, it's open for business. So if you turn it on, only teachers are going to be allowed to get into your room. If you turn it off, I'm sorry, if you turn it off, only teachers. If you turn it on, everyone is allowed in. So just keep it off, like after school hours, so students can't congregate in your room and talk. But keep it on whenever you want video chat to be available to everyone. The other very important thing is tables is always active. So even if I turn my camera on, if I go ahead and close this, either using the X or by clicking the waffle off and on, the camera's still working. Students can still see me. They can still hear me. I can still hear them. Everything's working, it's just in the background. So even though this thing is open or closed, tables is still working for you. Okay. So the question is, how do we get students in? And this is something new in Skies. You guys know with Zoom, there's this waiting room, right? Even as we speak, James is like, click, 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 click. Every time someone comes into Zoom, they need to get approved, 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 approved. But why do you need to go through all that trouble? With Skies, you already know who your students are. You already know that they have accounts. If they have an account to log in, they should automatically get in, right? And so that's the case. We now have something we call assigned seating. All these people in the background here, these are all students that we know belong inside your course. And so we have a section called outside. You can imagine it like chairs with your student's name on the back. You just want to bring all those chairs into your room. So I can go ahead and select all of these and just place it into my room. So again, select, select, select. And then this button here that says place, place, boom. And now all of the different students, anytime they join the Skies lesson, they will automatically get a little square inside Skies tables just by having the chair move in. So if all the teachers, I mean, fake students can start to go into the course and turn on their waffle and camera, we're going to start them appear. We're going to start to see them appear inside the course. And as they turn on their cameras, you should start to see them as well. Now you might think, okay, these look a little bit old to be elementary students. They're actually Skies ambassadors, top Skies users at each school, volunteering to be students with us today. So we're just going to wait a minute. And okay, Victor should not be there. Okay, out, you're out. And we're starting to see people log in. Okay, so people are starting to come in. They're starting to activate their tables. They're starting to go on. We're basically sending a text message to all these teachers. Okay, okay, everyone, get on the tables, get on the tables. So as they get on the tables, you will start to see them activate. Okay, hello. And you guys might recognize some of your colleagues as well.
Hello, hi guys.
Hi everyone. Okay. Right now, you'll notice in the corner that we have this thing called collab, which means that this is a collaborative room. Collaborative just means that anyone can unmute themselves and start to talk. So let's see what happens if we make the room collaborative. If you guys could start just unmuting yourselves and talking.
What time is it? Break.
Hello.
Can you hear my dog? Can you hear my
The powerful Mega Millions is 6 million.
Are we dismissed yet?
Oh my
Are we
gosh,
dismissed?
it's chaos. It's chaos in here. So I'm going to turn this into non-collaborative, which means now the host needs to unmute people one at a time. So let's try that. Okay. So let's go ahead and try our first activity. Our first activity is going to be this whole group activity about visual text and constructive conversations. So I'm going to be asking the class, what do you notice about this picture? What do you notice about this picture? It's got a penguin sitting on the eggs. And I'm going to go ahead and pop up the waffle. And anyone who wants to speak can just raise their hand. So if you raise your hand, I'll go ahead and unmute you. And you'll notice that anyone who's raising their hand is up here. And it also shows the order in which they raised their hand. So no longer like, you know, oh, he raised his hand first, he raised his hand first. I've had my hand raised for 5 minutes. You can see Mr. Serafin's had his hand up for 17 seconds. Shirley, 19 seconds, and you can call on people in order. So I'm going to go ahead and call on Mr. Seraphin. So Mr. Seraphin, what do you notice about the penguins?
Teacher, what time are we leaving?
Ah, you guys have another 25 minutes with me. Any other comments about the penguins?
Yes, they're very fluffy and furry.
Okay, fluffy and furry. Excellent. Mute, lower hand. Thank you. And now we're up to Shirley. Okay, Shirley, Miss Lee, sorry. Miss Lee, what do you notice about the penguins? I'm gonna ask you to unmute yourself.
There we go. So what I noticed about the penguins were one was sitting on the egg, and he had a friend right next to him, or she had a friend next to her, and they were both mostly black. So that's what I noticed about the penguins.
Okay, this is great. Okay, so again, you guys see it's just like Zoom. I call on people like Miss Fonseca here. I lower your hand, I unmute you, and then they can talk.
Hello.
Hello.
Something else I noticed about the penguins, I agree with my classmate. There's 2 of them. They look pretty young.
They look pretty young. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Fonseca. And what you'll notice is, you can scroll up and down if you want to look at the tables. Oh, and we want to let Ms. Reyes in. Let's go ahead and let them in as well. Hello. You can also view this in the grid. If you want it to look more like Zoom, where you just see everyone in a nice grid, you can do the exact same thing. So you can do the familiar interface that you guys are used to. But I like tables because I like being able to move people around. Okay. One more thing is that everyone is talking as if they can see the picture. They're actually just looking at the skies lesson. So here's what it looks like from a student point of view. I'm going to go ahead and share another screen. So from a student point of view, I'm going to come in as a student, and I'm going to let this person in. What happens is they can see, oops, sorry. So this is what it looks from a student's point of view. They can see their classmates, and they can see themselves. And they just have a simple Zoom grid. And then they can raise their hand, they can lower their hand, and they can do all that sort of stuff. But they can alternate between having the lesson open so they can see what the teacher's doing and seeing their classmates. Up, on, off, on. But you might ask, what if the teacher actually is doing something and wants to share their screen? Well, here's what the teacher does. I'm going to go back to being a teacher. Remember the 4th button here that said share screen? I can click this. I can share my screen. And now everyone in the class will be able to see my screen. It'll actually pop up a little icon that says JS. And so let's go ahead and see what it looks like from the student's view. From the student's view, you see this little thing appear that says JS. Now, if I click that, I can actually, well, let me hide my Zoom window, show my screen. So I can actually be talking about the penguin, and I can be presenting the penguin, and like moving my mouse around, and everyone can see my screen because I'm sharing it. Now, one thing you might say is like, hey, what if I want to see what the teacher is sharing, but I also want to see like my classmates? Well, we have an additional feature built in the skies tables for that. We call it hexagons. So here, I've opened up this window and I'm like, hey, I really want to see the teacher talking. That's Julius. And I want to also see my friend, Miss Machado, and my friend, let's see, I'm just picking random people here. Miss Clymer. I want to see 3 of them while I'm like going to this class. And now you see we have these little circles here. Let me actually go back here. So as I'm watching, the teacher present, I can be looking along. I can see what the teacher's saying. I can see the teacher gesturing. I can see a couple of my classmates looking around interested too. And so it's very flexible. It's all under the control of the teacher and under the control of the students. So if the students just want to look at the screen, they can do that. If the students want to see a few of their classmates, they can do that. And this is especially useful because we know so many of the devices that the students have are limited in bandwidth. And this gives them the flexibility. They say, okay, I want to see 10 people, I can see 10 people. I want to see just the teacher, I can see just the teacher. It's very flexible. Okay. So I'm going to go back to sharing the teacher screen. Let me go ahead and click Zoom. Okay. Whoa, whoa. Okay. Okay, it's going great. Okay, great. So now I'm back to the teacher mode. Okay. So that's the summary here. Hexagons. Again, just to review, you can select different faces you want to see, and it will show them alongside your lesson. And let's go to the second activity, which is partner discussions. So far, I've just showed you guys a funny looking version of Zoom, right? It's just for whole group. You can see everyone in the table. You can see everyone in the grid. You can see faces while you can share the screen. But so far, it's nothing different than Zoom. You guys are just like, okay, it's kind of cool. You don't have to have a separate app. But what makes it special? What can we do on top of what you guys already have? And this is where things get interesting. So let's do an activity where we want partner discussions. Because after all, the whole point of collaborative conversations is that it's not just a teacher calling on you one at a time. It's students talking to each other as peers and you listening in and giving comments and feedback and things like that. So the fun thing about tables is we can now create a set of tables and we can assign teachers to them. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to call them, let's see, table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4, and table 5. And let me see, under table 1, let's see if I can do Annie Chen and Miss Clymer. I have these grouped by like, here, place. Under table 2, I want, you know what? I'm just going to do it randomly. I had this whole like system worked out for how I wanted to group people, but now I'm just going to put it together randomly. So again, I'm just selecting people, and I could have done this in advance. Whoops. I could have done it with assigned seating and like my seating chart and everything like that. I'm going to make some more tables. Okay, Miss Said is here. Miss Mota's here. Okay, Mr. Seraphin's here. Great. And now we have 8 different tables. And I could rename the tables too. I could be like, this is the Mercury table. This is the, Venus table. Table 3 is the Earth table. Guys are very down to earth. Table 4, oh wait, that's Jupiter. Table 4 can be Mars, etc. So I can be renaming tables. And you guys can all be, oh, Miss McCutcheon's is here as well. I'll put you in table Venus, actually. And everyone else, I'm going to move all of you guys outside. Okay, great. So I see you guys all here. And I can go, if I want to see everyone at the same time, I can put you guys in the grid. Oh, I actually want to see more of you guys at the same time. Let me increase this to 12. Oh, there, I see more of you. And you'll notice that it tells me these people are from Earth, these people are from Jupiter, these people are from Mars, Mercury, etc., etc. But the fun thing now that everyone's in these tables is the following. I'm going to go ahead and make these tables collaborative. And what that means is that you guys don't have to wait for me to unmute. Oh, okay, let's see. Let's call on Miss Jones. Hello? Hi, Miss Jones.
Uh-oh. Hi.
Okay, I'll put you in the table 8, okay?
Okay.
Put you in table 8. Wonderful, and I'll put her hand down. I'm gonna make these all collaborative. Oh, they're already all collaborative, perfect. So what I can be doing is they can actually be talking to each other. And I won't hear their conversations, you know? It's like a regular classroom. They can be talking to each other at their tables, having a fun, constructive conversation. The theme of today's constructive conversation will be clarify. This is the LAUSD model conversation. We have this fun picture, and we're asking the students, what do you notice about this picture? With the absurdly big angry bird-like bird and the little brown whatever. They're supposed to be clarifying, asking each other to, you know, contribute details on each other's conversations. And let's go ahead as they talk and listen in to see how they're doing with their conversation. So I'm going to go with Earth first.
Melanie, are you able to unmute? I noticed that in the screen, the bird is flying, but there's 2 peas on the ground. So I'm wondering if it's a Native American story.
Okay, and Melanie's still trying to unmute herself. Okay. And I'm going to go listen in to table 7.
Hi, Sophia, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So again, you guys should all unmute yourselves and start talking to each other.
You, I'm actually her daughter.
Oh, okay. Well, this happens in regular classrooms too, only with moms instead of daughters. Let's listen into table 8.
Okay, so what do you see there, Ms. Jones?
I only see the chat. I don't see the, I can't figure out how to look back at the board.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen.
Did you click on the little waffle?
Echo.
Right above the camera?
Oh, it's right above the camera.
Is it a 4 square, like little 4 squares?
Okay, let's go back to them when they've worked out their technical issues. We'll go back to table 7.
That's right, I forgot.
Okay, table 7. Miss Said and Miss Mota.
What do you think about the picture?
I only see like his desktop.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. I see a pink animal. I don't know what that is.
Oh, I see what you see too. I think that is a birdie.
And
Do
the bird has a blue bow on the top of its head.
Oh, yes. I see the blue bow too. And I see another bird next to it too.
Okay. I'm going back to Earth, listening into Earth.
We got her to unmute, but her audio's crossed over. We're communicating with sign language, huh, Melanie? Can you hear me? No.
Okay. Off to Jupiter. Nope, no Jupiter. Mars.
So what did you notice in the picture, Ms. Reyes?
I noticed dark clouds, so there seems to be a storm going on. That's what I remember.
Okay. So anyway, as students talk, you know, you can like listen in to their conversations, and I can also visit them. So I can place myself at any of these tables.
Oh, let's see.
If I wanted to actually talk to them in private without all the other tables hearing me, I could be visiting them. Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys doing?
Good. We made it.
Okay. I'm gonna go visit Mars. Hello,
So we have,
Mars.
hi. So I also noticed in the picture that there was like a pink pig flying, like flying after the balloon. What did you notice?
Okay. So this is great. So you guys notice the way it works, right? If you're in the front, every table can hear you. You're the teacher giving directions to everyone. Everyone can hear you. But if you want to talk privately to a table, you just go walk by the table, just like in regular life, right? Regular life, you know, you stand at the front, you want everyone to hear you. You want to go to a table, you can go to a table. So it's very flexible in that regard. And again, I'm going to go to the grid so it looks more, you know, you can just see everyone at the same time. Okay. So that's it for partner discussions. Oh, wait, there's one more thing. Right now, I've just been the teacher, you know, sage on the stage, being at the front, talking to everyone. But the students can also be called to the front of the room. So let's say I go to the next question, which is, what were some key details you and your partner noticed? What if I want to make this more like a think, pair, share? Then I might actually want individuals in each group to share out with the rest of the class. And I can do that very easily by going to tables and basically calling on them. So I can call on Miss Machado. And what this is going to do is it's going to drag her to the front of the class, and she's going to get to talk to everyone. So I'm going to click call on. Boom. Hi, Miss Machado.
Hi.
What did you and your partner observe?
So my partner and I were observing that perhaps this is some type of Native American tale because we were noticing the teepees down on the bottom of the floor.
Oh, that is a cool key detail. Yes, the teepees are definitely key. Thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and return her. Okay, I see Miss Lee. Hi, Miss Lee. What did you notice?
So what I noticed was that a storm was coming and everyone was running to find shelter. So that was one of the key details. I also noticed that the trees were starting to blow away and the teepees as well. And my partner noticed that the sky was turning gray.
That is fantastic. Thank you very much, Miss Lee. Yeah, a storm's coming and things are starting to disappear. And I'm going to lower her hand and we're going to call on one more person. Okay, Mr. DiPiengo, I'm going to call on you now. So you'll get to talk to everyone.
Okay, so we noticed that there was like this really big bird with stripes right in the middle of the picture, along with another black bird.
Wonderful. A very big stripy bird. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so that's it. I mean, you can see how people can talk in groups. You can visit groups, you can call on people, you can call them to the front. It's very flexible. Any sort of instruction you're normally doing with student discourse, you can continue to do with skies. Okay, thank you, everyone. So that ends the tables portion of the demo. Oh, wait, there's one more thing. Okay. Right now, the teacher has to be the one to assign students to a table, right? The teacher controls which table everyone's at. But sometimes it's fun to let students move to whatever tables they want. And so let's say I start off a new set of tables, and I'm going to call these tables the following. This table I'm going to call Read Book, because they actually read a book they were supposed to read. I'm going to call the other table Didn't Read Book. So they're going to have the opportunity to do some silent reading. I'm sorry, the ones who read the book, I guess they can do some discussion. And then maybe some of them need some extra math help. And so they'll work with a TA. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to press the little icon here. I'm going to say students can now self-place. And so if you guys could put yourselves into one of those three tables, either you read the book, you did not read the book, or you want some extra math help, then you see they automatically start to move around. Like, oh, look, Miss Camps, Miss Monges, and Miss Fonseca, you guys read the book. Awesome. We can have a discussion about the book now. Some of you guys are opting for extra math help, like Miss Machado, Miss Lee, Mr. Serafin, and Miss Said. And some of you guys, McCutcheon, Reyes, DiPiengo, Michi, Shanamota, will get half an hour to read the book silently. And this is great. So everyone just rearranges themselves. And that's it. From a student point of view, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen from a student point of view. This is what it looks like. I'm going to come in here. I got chucked outside. Okay, let me bring this person back in. So, aha, I brought him outside. So from the student point of view, you can see they can select which table they want to go to. And I can go, okay, this guy read the book, so now I'm with the group that read the book. There's 2 of me, hello. And I can freeze it. I can say, okay, time's up, everyone's gonna be stuck at their tables. And I can unselect it, and now you're stuck, you can't move. You're there for the next half hour. Bye. Okay, so that's it for tables. We're gonna talk about notifications in a little bit. So thank you very much, teacher ambassadors, for being virtual students today. And then we're gonna have a new set of teachers be math students next. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen with them. I wanna mention 2 more things about using tables. The first is, we've talked with a lot of teachers who've used tables, and there's 3 recurring technical issues that sometimes get in the way of teachers using tables. Let me share my screen here. The first issue is when you first use tables, you've got to give permission for the microphone and the camera. If you don't, tables won't work. It doesn't have permission. So you always have to click this icon here and set these 2 to be allow if you didn't do it the first time I asked you, okay? The second thing is, if you're accessing Skies through Schoology, you got to pop it out of that little square. Schoology will like to embed things inside this little frame, but sometimes that frame interferes with audio and video, which is okay for a lot of applications. But when you're trying to do video conferencing, that can be a problem. So always tell your students, if you want to use tables, you got to pop it out of that frame, out of Schoology, and into Skies. Don't worry, they still get Schoology credit. They just need to go to a separate window. And the last thing, and this is probably the thing that causes the most trouble, is that Zoom and tables kind of fight it out a little bit sometimes over the camera, over the audio, and over the speaker. The 2 programs do not work well together. So when you're doing tables, you have to tell your students to quit Zoom. Don't just make it small, don't just minimize the window. They need to quit Zoom entirely so that they can get on the tables. If they do these 3 things, set the permissions, pop out of Schoology, and quit Zoom entirely, then tables will always work for them. And you guys will have a smooth experience with tables. Now, some people will say, well, we're under a reporting mandate. LAUSD tracks the number of minutes we spend on Zoom and the number of minutes we spend on Schoology and things like that. First off, they don't tend to track minutes on Schoology. They tend to track whether or not you're logged on to Schoology daily, which your students always do. But the second thing is, we have contacts with all the sort of higher admins in both LAUSD and Rialto Unified, and we can provide them with detailed reporting data to the minute, accurate to the minute, on which students are in which tables when and things like that. So if there's any sort of accountability about hours of synchronous instruction or whatever, we can provide them with all the data they want, all the reports that they want. So it should be absolutely fine to be using tables. Okay, so again, summary, we encourage everyone to try tables. It's flexible, you can control the audio environment, and once students get used to it, I think in the words of one teacher, it's pretty epic. When it works, it's freaking epic, is what he said earlier to me today. So please, just give it a try. And you can see all your students at all times, which is, again, very useful. Okay, so let's go to the next one, which is notifications. And I apologize, I'm not stopping for questions just to get through everything, but my co-founder, James, and other teacher ambassadors are busily answering questions in chat. So, okay, let's go to math. Whoops. B. Okay. So I'm going into this lesson here. So the intro to this, The #1 most requested feature for Sky since March 2020, drum roll, is notifications. Got it, got it, got the emails, got all the requests, got all the texts, got all the phone calls. This is the #1 things that teachers have requested since virtual remote learning started. And this is why. I think you guys all know why, but let me reiterate, just for everyone's benefit, why notifications is so important. And the reason is that we have this ideal in mind about like how grading is supposed to work, especially mastery-based grading where students get like multiple attempts to improve their grade. And it tends to go something like this. You assign work, students do the work, you grade the work. The student's like, oh, I only got a 2 out of 4. Let me try again, let me do better. Student resubmits their work, teacher regrades the work. Now it's a 4 out of 4 and everyone's happy. Everyone can go home. You've got learning, you've got grades, you've got feedback, you've got accountability, you've got everything in one bundle and everyone is happy. Sadly, this is not the way it often works. This is actually what ends up happening a lot of the time, which is students, they don't always do all the work they're supposed to. So they log on to Schoology, they log into their gradebook and they're like, hey, why is my grade so low? Why did I get a 0? So then they go through Skies, they go through all the previous lessons, looking for work they need to submit, looking for work they need to redo. They submit some of the work late. And now the teacher's like, hey, now the teacher's clicking through all the previous lessons, looking for work they forgot, they didn't grade or work that was submitted late. And it's like taking forever. But finally, you know, through some Herculean effort, they go through and find all the work they were grading and then give all the grades. They even leave detailed feedback for the students, which never gets read. And then students never read the feedback. And then the students just stop doing work. And then usually at this point, the teacher sends a usually polite feature request to us saying, you guys should add notifications. So that's what we did. And here's how it works. So on the teacher end, Skies now has a to-do list, basically, of all the work that needs to be graded and all the work that needs to be regraded. So every time you go into a lesson or a course, you're now going to see all these little orange numbers, and that's the amount of work you need to grade. You can see in our summer course, we were pretty good about grading math. We weren't so good about grading writing because, you know, it was such a pain to read. So let me show you guys how it actually looks. So I can go to S3, Sky Summer School, and you can see it just takes a second. It needs to actually go through all the lessons and count all the cards and stuff. So it sometimes takes a bit. I go into math lessons and you can see underneath it'll tell you, okay, if you break down like which lessons you actually need to grade. And I'm going to go to parentheses. Oh my gosh, 52 things I need to grade. And if you go to the upper right-hand corner here, you now see, okay, these are all the things I still need to grade. And what happens if you click it, it takes you to Mass Grader, which you guys know how to use. And it tells you on top of here, which questions have ungraded work. Wow, this one has 19 pieces of ungraded work. And I just need to start going ahead and grading them. Like select, 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 select. All these get a 4, that kind of thing. Okay, and now you see that the number's gone down. It's only 14 things I have yet to grade. Okay, so that's the teacher notifications. And again, it not only shows work you need to grade, but work you need to regrade. So here's work that's ungraded. This needs a 4. And here's work that got resubmitted by students. That's why they're yellow. And these need to be regraded. So that's from the teacher end. Now from the student end, let me show what it looks like. I'm gonna log on to that. When students log on, they also see notifications. They also see these orange numbers. Now the orange numbers don't tend to be as much because it only shows their own stuff, not every student's stuff. But there's still numbers here. And instead of showing what they need to grade, it shows them what they need to do. It shows them all the work that they have not submitted. So they can go and they go, oh my gosh, there's 7 things here I did not submit. There's things here I did not submit. And let's go to solving equations. Let's see. There are 11 things here. And when they click on this, here's what they see. This is a list of all the questions they have not done yet. So they can go ahead and, oh, click, oh, I need to do this question. Oh, it's an extra credit. Maybe I won't do it. Here's a free response question for me to answer. Oh, this is another extra credit. Okay, maybe I'm not going to do it. But there's one more thing that teachers asked us for, which is a student gradebook. And now it's built into every lesson. If they click on this, they also see all the work that they got graded on. And it's very easy for them to see where they're losing points because it won't be green, or it won't be green all the way. They can go, hey, where did my points go? I want to go here. And they can resubmit things that they, felt like they missed points on. And finally, they can also see a list of all the work that's ungraded, which there isn't any in this case because we are pretty conscientious about grading this particular assignment. Okay, so let's see how this will work in a live class. So I'm going to go here, and now I'm going to open up tables. Oh my gosh, there's all these people waiting for me. I'm late. What happened? Sorry. I had to talk to all these teachers, but now I'm here. Now you guys are all waiting for me. Okay, so we've got a math lesson. Hi, guys. Hello. Okay, wow. And I'm going to do a grid so I can see even more of you. Let's say I want to see can I see 36 of them if I want? Wow, okay. Well, I can see everyone who's here. That's great. Thumbs up. Okay, so today we are going to be doing, Yes, we're going to be doing this addition problem. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I'm going to illustrate how to do it. And then after I show how to do this addition problem, it will be all these students' turn to try to do 2 more problems themselves. So the addition problem is 23 plus 57 equals what? Well, 23, that's 3 ones and 2 tens, plus 57, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 57, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I heard that you guys don't actually use tally marks to do Common Core math like this. You use little discs and place them in places. Sorry, we still need to add that as a feature disguise. It's on our to-do list. And if you have 3 ones and 7 ones, whoa, this actually makes a 10. So I'm going to move this here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that becomes a big 8, 0. So I'm going to press done. And now it's going to be the student's turn to do it. Okay, great. So I submitted my work. And now I can come here. And what I would like is for all the students in my virtual class to try doing these problems, the 2 yellow cards. And as they do them, notifications are going to come up, and I'm going to go ahead and grade them. Okay. Okay, great. It's your turn. And I'll go ahead and refresh this so I can see my notifications. Okay. So it already says there are 2 pieces of ungraded work that Sylvia has submitted. So I can jump here and I can see the work to grade. Okay, 101, yes, that's correct. 4. And then this one is also correct. So I'm going to give this a 4 as well. And then as the students do their work, I will see more notifications come up, and I will be able to grade them accordingly. So I'll wait a minute. Oh, okay. Ms. Song has also submitted work. Okay, so here we go, 101, 101. Okay, looks good. Thank you, 4. And Ms. Baca here has gotten something wrong here. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a 2. The Cervantes here, oh, it should be 101, not 91. Let me go ahead and give that a 2. And so I can go ahead and sort students' work as they go along. It's okay. Everyone knows how to add. We just told some of them to act like higher level students and some of them to act like not as knowledgeable students. So we could get a variety of grades coming in. And so, yeah, oh my gosh, you can see here we have 4 things left to grade. So it's like, squishing that inbox. Now we have 4 things we need to grade. Oh, what am I going to do with all this? Okay, let me just select all the ones with correct answers. 101, 101, 101, 101. I see marks. I see the right answer. All looks good. 4. This one, not the right answer. 2. This one, I see 101, 101. Close enough. 3. And now, oh, while I've been grading that, there's 2 things here that were not graded. Okay, 112. This looks great. 4. And this one, I'll give that a 1. Great. Okay. Oh, why is there 2 here? Okay, and now you see that there's more work to grade. And so that's how it works. This helps give timely feedback because you always see what you have left to grade. Okay, and now anyone who's gotten 2 4s, I would encourage to start doing the practice problems as well. And these practice problems grade themselves. If they've got the correct answer, they'll automatically get a score of 1. Okay. So far, we haven't gotten to use tables. We're just using notifications, right? Everyone's working independently. Everyone's like, turning in their work. Everyone's doing all that stuff. But here's where it gets fun and interesting, okay? Where it gets interesting is I can be grading more of these. Okay, 101, 101. I'll give this a 4. 100, that's missing 1. I'll give that a 2. This one, okay. Well, you guys didn't all show up to watch me grade math. This one's a 2. This one's a 1. But what I can do now is I can go to the grade book and I can actually look at all these people's scores. And I can actually start to sort and get an idea of who the students are who know all the stuff and who the students are who might need a little bit more help. And I can be like, okay, these students here, Cervantes, Baca, Hernandez, Sample, they might need a little more assistance. And so I can start to create a table for them. I could be like, okay, this is a table for extra math help. And I can also create tables for like pair 1, pair 2, pair 3, etc. Pair 4. I mean, I probably named them something else, but let's say I go into the grade book and I'm like, oh, okay, look. Cervantes, Baca, Hernandez, and Patty. Cervantes, Baca, Patty, Hernandez. You guys are now in the extra math help table. And then, let's see. Oh my gosh, Ruiz and McClure, you guys are really nailing this. So let's go ahead and Ruiz, I'm going to put you in a pair 1 table. So you guys can start to, do extra credit problems together or something like that. And I can put some of the others into these like, pair groups as well. And I'll just go ahead and make other tables to pair people. And now if I look at the grids, I see everyone's been assigned into a table for extra math help or for pair work. And this is actually a really good way to do non-optional intervention. So, you can get situations where some students are working together because they know stuff and they just need to sort of go ahead and help each other. And some students who need extra help, you can spend more time intensively working on, maybe during the afternoon for non-optional intervention using tables. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say bye to our virtual students. Oh, and more notifications. See, more notifications that we need to grade, but we won't do that right now. Okay. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you again for your time, and look forward to having you guys be ambassadors and helping the students at your schools use Sky successfully. Thank you. Okay. So in conclusion, so all the tables participants can go and start setting up their breakout rooms now. We encourage you guys to use notifications. They're very helpful. They're the things that everyone's been requesting for like the last 9 months, and we finally have it. So you can really keep track of work easily. I would even say it's easier to keep track of work with Sky's notifications than with regular in-person teaching and stacks of paper everywhere. So we really, really encourage you guys to use it. For student engagement, sort of the theme of the rest of the year, tables and notifications is a really powerful combination. Tables brings this social element and this instructional piece to it. And notifications just makes everything work well, everything timely. Otherwise, it's like boats passing each other in the distance. But you guys can now get back onto this virtuous cycle of grading and regrading and submitting and feedback and everything that makes students really feel invested and engaged. And likewise for the teacher, that your feedback's actually getting read and acted on. We have next steps. If you are a new teacher, if you have not used Skies before, and this is your first time, and maybe a colleague invited you and said, hey, check this out. These guys are doing something that could be interesting for you. We strongly encourage you to stay around after this for breakout sessions. We have teacher trainers who are going to be working in groups with you to help you get started with your new course and things like that. In addition, James, my co-founder, will be sending a link where you can schedule a free one-on-one training session for like an hour, and they'll really help you, get everything started and set up. And existing teachers, we would encourage you to contact your ambassador. The ambassadors are all very well versed in tables and notifications now. If you have questions, you can talk to the Skies ambassador at your school. And you can definitely always contact us. We're very accessible, we're very available. At the lower right-hand corner of the screen, every Sky screen, you'll see a help button. You can always use that to submit a ticket or a chat request to us, and we'll get back to you pretty quickly. So that's pretty much it. And now James was gonna talk about breakout rooms and next steps.